Hi, and welcome to Season 2 of That's Ruddy Mysterious, a podcast of short tales about true mysteries. What created the Patomskiy crater? Who was involved in the 1963 Great Train Robbery? I'm not going to solve those mysteries, but they'll be interesting to learn about. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Transcripts and references for all episodes can be found at that'sruddymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about the Patomskiy crater. In 1949, geologist Vadim Kolpakov was hiking through the Bodaibo, Irkutsk region of southeast Siberia when he found something incredible. He was supposed to be creating a geological map of the area when he stumbled upon the crater. He said, "When I first saw the crater, I thought I'd gone crazy because of the heat, and indeed a perfectly shaped mount of the size of a 25-story building with a chopped-off top sitting in the middle of the woods was quite an unexpected discovery." He went on to explain that from a distance the crater looked like a slag heap from a mine shaft, except that it was whitish. Before finding the crater, Kolpakov spoke with the local Yakut people, who told him about an evil place which they called the Fire Eagle Nest. The Yakut told Kolpakov that even the deer wouldn't go near the area, and explained that people who ventured there came back sick and died shortly thereafter. The Patomskiy crater is also known as the Kolpakov Cone or the Fire Eagle Nest. It got the name Patomskiy because of the nearby river. Native people in the area refer to it as a cursed crater or the Devil's Place. The crater lies just about 320 kilometers or just under 200 miles from the city center of Bodaibo. The mound surrounding the crater is oval-shaped with a conical crater within, and in the middle of the crater lies another smaller ball-like mound. The outer mound is up to 40 meters or just over 130 feet high and 160 meters or just about 525 feet across. Within the outer mound sits a 10-meter or 33 feet deep crater. The smaller inner mound is about 12 meters or 39 feet tall. The crater itself is made up of broken gray limestone. It's estimated that 250,000 cubic meters, or 8,828,670 cubic feet of underground rock has been pushed to the surface. The crater is encircled by trees, although few grow on the mound itself. The trees that surround the mound have seen a period of rapid growth. Strangely, scientists have said that the crater changes shape over the years, which is something they cannot explain. Kolpakov said that the crater was man-made, but that the local Evanks and Yakut wouldn't have had the skills to make it. As Kolpakov got closer to the crater, he decided it was not man-made. He thought maybe it was a mound caused by a volcano, but said there are no nearby volcanoes that could have caused it. Kolpakov believed the crater to be relatively new because trees weren't growing on the crater. He believed that the wind hadn't carried enough soil to the area yet. He estimated the crater to be between 200 and 250 years old. Some other scientists who studied the crater agreed with Kolpakov's assessment, while others claim the crater is much older, even possibly being up to 500 years old. Eventually, Kolpakov came to believe the crater was caused by a meteorite. The first real scientific expedition to study the most mysterious place in Russia didn't happen until the year 2005. If nothing else, the expedition confirmed that the crater does cause illness and death. When getting within a few kilometers of the crater, the head of the expedition, Eugene Vorobyov, suddenly fell to the ground and died. Sergei Yazev was a part of the expedition. He said of Vorobyov's passing, "Such a horrible thing happened. It was a big question what to do next. But as the expedition was so close to the crater, 4 scientists decided to continue the expedition in honor of Eugene Vorobyov, who wanted to reach it so much." The study confirmed that there was no radiation in the area, although there were some signs that the area had once been highly radioactive. In 2006, another expedition was launched to study the crater. This one found a magnetic anomaly within the crater. The scientists believe there may be iron or another similar material buried about 150 meters or 492 feet underground. Viktor Voronin, the head of the Siberian Institute of Plant Physiology and Biochemistry, says the crater is at least 250 years old based on the tree growth just outside the crater. He discovered some tree growth abnormalities. He found that many of the trees outside of the crater broke or died off all at the same time. He also noticed the trees had a period of rapid growth beginning in 1842. This was the same year that the trees had broken or scarred. The rapid growth continued for about 20 years. This rapid growth can be caused by radioactivity. In fact, the same thing was noticed in trees that were growing in the area of the Chernobyl accident. Although the area is rich in uranium, there's no indication of any in the crater itself. At first, Voronin said the most likely cause of the crater was a UFO crash landing in the area. His later studies showed that it's more likely that the crater was made by some sort of volcanic activity, but that does not explain the rapid growth of the trees. Scientists are unsure what may have caused the crater, although some have some theories. Some scientists believe that nuclear tests being performed by another country in the area may have caused the crater, but this seems unlikely because the crater is too old for that to be possible. Some scientists believe the crater was the work of some ancient civilization, but why would they have built it? Some people believe the crater was built by prisoners at some secret labor camp in the area, but no such labor camp ever existed there. Some scientists believe the crater was caused by volcanic activity, in particular a very rare gas volcano. This seems unlikely, however, because the area is not a volcanic area and there is no volcanic debris nearby. There are some that believe the crater was caused by a meteorite crashing into Earth. This seems improbable because there's no meteoric material found in or around the crater. The shape of the crater is also not common for a meteorite landing. Igor Simonov from the Moscow Institute for Problems in Mechanics says that the crater could have been caused by the falling of a cylindrical object which was extremely dense. The material that may have caused this type of crater does not exist on Earth, but Simonov says it might exist in space. Igor Yermolov from the Institute of Mechanics said the crater could have been caused by two bodies falling at the same time but at different speeds. The first would have been traveling at 6.5 kilometers per second when it impacted, and the second would have been falling at 1.5 kilometers per second when it impacted. He went on to say, counting the fact that two meteorites cannot fly one after the other hitting the same spot, I cannot imagine the nature of this strange object. I do not know what it is. Some scientists blame the crater on an underground hydrogen explosion. Some say the crater was caused by the crash landing of a UFO or even two UFOs at the same time. They say this is the only explanation for the radiation in the area. Some say that the crater was caused by the same meteor which caused the Tunguska event. These people say that part of the meteor broke off and landed at the crater site. This seems unlikely because the crater is too old. What do you think caused the Patomskiy crater? Was it volcanic activity? Or maybe it was a UFO crash landing to Earth? Is the crater really cursed? What do you think?
Thanks for listening to today's episode of That's Ruddy Mysterious. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a review and follow That's Ruddy Mysterious to be updated about new episodes. Tune in next Tuesday for another thought-provoking tale.